I've written a song for you called Sweet Jenny Green, and I want to discuss some things about it before we play it for you. And what's very important is to know how to approach a song using sequence. Now, the first thing you should do is learn the melody, then learn the harmony, learn the bass line, and any other bass lines that come to mind that would be good bass lines for the song. And play the song over many times until you not only know it, but you really are familiar with it. It's something that is really a part of you. You gain insights on the songs. You gain some thoughts about certain places in the song that it offers certain highlights, certain points of interest. Become very familiar with the material. Now, the next thing is to play each chord of the song out of tempo. For example, this song is in the key of G, and it starts on an E7th. And it stays on that for quite a while. And since the first chord is going to be an E7th, as you play the chord, besides learning the melody, strike the chord, listen to it, listen to the way it sounds, and play some scale patterns that fit that chord, just to kind of get familiarity with the E7. Get familiar with the territory. Things like that. Any variations that are in a scale is suggested. The next one is an A7th. I'm not going to do all of them, but just to show you. E7th, then A7th. All A7, and on through the things, up, high, low, any patterns you want in any way that are scale-like, but that suggest the harmony, the chord you're working with at the moment. Another thing would be to take the song and go over it entirely harmonically, but from the standpoint of responding to each chord in an arpeggio-like fashion rather than scale. So here's the E7. A7th, and so on. It's just a matter of getting acquainted with it from that standpoint. And then go from chord to chord and play something. This is a very important part. You want to learn to play a kind of a pattern on each harmony that is sequential. You make up a line. For instance, on the E7th, you decide you're going to play something like then you come to the A7th, and you want to play something that will fit there that's sequential. It could be. Now, it didn't have to be that. It could have been this. And then it could be, I came at it from a different direction, but the rhythm was the same. In other words, it doesn't have to be identical, but you do want to create some kind of sequence and go over the entire song and see where you can fit in sequence and make it as perfect as you can. And when you get real good at making it sequential in every aspect, from every aspect, then you want to back away from perfect sequences and just make it more near perfect sequences or less sequential but with some sequence in it, because remember, I talked about how when it's too packed with sequence, it gets boring and it is predictable. And we want it to be unpredictable. We want surprises in there, but we want it all to hook up together. Another thing that you can do is at times you may want to do some chord substitutions. And when you do that, see if you can find some sequence for the chord substitutions. For example, instead of playing 2 measures of E7th and 2 more, and then A7th, you might want to go. You might want to make that variation. When you make the variation in the harmony by making a chord substitution, then play sequence also on this variation that you made. In other words, when you use chord substitutions, make your sequence fit in the chord substitutions as well. And now Dave Young and I would like to play the song that I've written for you called Sweet Jenny Green. And when you listen to it, I want you to determine where you hear the sequences to be, what the sequential patterns are, when they occur, and what kind they are. Are they in the melody, are they in the rhythm, or in the harmony? And enjoy it, because after we get through, we're going to provide a rhythm track for you to play along. So listen to this, not only in terms of enjoying it, which I hope you do, but listen analytically. What's going on sequentially and where? Dave, play that wonderful intro you played a little earlier so we can get into this. And we're going to play this same song again, and this time we're going to play a rhythm track for you. A couple of choruses on the very same tune, and I'm going to count off 2 measures so you can get right into it. Here we go, right from the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to mention to you a couple of tips that I think will be very helpful, and that is when you're working with songs like Sweet Jenny Green, remember that you can use formation playing while you're playing your sequences. And when you're using material to develop formation playing, you can play sequences on those formations. So use all of the concepts you've learned on this video. Keep exploring and keep expanding and keep growing. And I wish you all the best, and I know you'll have fun, and I know that you're going to learn and expand your improvisation skills through all of these concepts. Also, please remember that I have made a video for beginners on improvisation called Jazz Guitar Improvisation, and another one which I think you'll find very interesting and helpful is a video on chord melody playing, to be able to harmonize your own arrangements and your own improvisations and make your own distinctive individual creations. I've enjoyed presenting this to you, and I hope it will be most helpful to you. And Dave Young, thank you so much for your support. Let's take it on out, and we'll see you on the next video. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.